Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the F1 Word and to the preview for the first ever Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, round 21 of the season and the penultimate race of 2021. And it's another one of those weekends where we can all sit here and try and guess who's the favourite or which way it's going to go. But because it's a brand spanking new track, we can't know anything for sure, which is, for me at least, super exciting. And it is also the first race where both championships could be wrapped up, but more on that a little bit later in the video. Let's start though, as we always do, with a look at the usual round of track stats and then go from there. So a lap of the Jeddah Corniche circuit is a whopping 6.174 kilometres long. That's 3.836 miles if you would prefer. And is made up of 4 million corners, more specifically 27, with the circuit having an estimated top speed according to motorsport.com of 322 kilometres per hour. Wow, with a simulated average speed of 252.8 kph. Mercedes, by the way, saying that cars are predicted to hit 315 kph at the kink of turn 26, and come Sunday, there should be a total of 50 racing laps. There will be 3 DRS zones this weekend, with the first running between turns 20 and 22, the second between 25 and 26, and the third running down the start-finish straight, obviously, with the detection points for each zone just after turn 17, before turn 22, and just before 27, respectively. And do you know what? All predictions seem to say that we are going to need those zones if we're going to see much overtaking. Of course, we don't know for sure. And it could be an absolute cracker of a race with a ton of passing going on throughout the field. But there does seem to be a fair bit of pessimism floating around. Mainly because the corners are mostly fast, twisty and flowing. But also you've got the barriers really close to the track. And so there is obviously more risk involved when going for a move. When it comes to the best or most likely corners for overtaking, turn 1 is probably the best spot because you've got that nice long DRS zone before it and it is one of the tighter turns on the track, but it is followed immediately by turn 2, so it isn't really a given, but it could leave us with some side-by-side action for a couple of corners at the very least. Before the final corner at turn 27, the track does widen as well to promote multiple racing lines, so that could help with a move into turn 1. We might see the odd move into 27 as well. But aside from the DRS zones, I can't really pick out any other obvious overtaking spots because, again, they're all so fast and just follow one after another for the most part. Maybe we could see the odd move being made through the long bank turn 13. That's not going to be easy though. And perhaps there will be some opportunities between turns 4 and 10. But like I say, it's going to be tough. So it's probably all going to be reliant on DRS. Ultimately though, we shall see. But let me know actually down below if there are any corners that stand out for you and where you think we will see some overtaking on Sunday. Right then, let's talk tyres. As ever, they are predominantly made of rubber and there will only be 4 on each car at any given moment. But if you're looking for specifics, the compounds available for the weekend are from the middle of the Pirelli range, and they are the hard C2, the medium C3 and the soft C4. Pirelli notes that the team simulations suggest the middle of the range is the best option for Jeddah, and the manufacturer has pointed to the 12-degree bank turn 13 as one of the most demanding corners on the track, with high G-forces expected to hit and affect the tyres. As you might expect, with it being a brand spanking new circuit, there will be very little grip initially because the track surface has only just been laid and so has had no running whatsoever. Think back to Turkey last year and how slippery that was. I hope it's not quite as dramatic as that, but there's not going to be a lot of grip. But with F2 and Porsche racing this weekend as well, that grip should ramp up and the track should evolve quite nicely over the weekend. It is also a night race, of course, so temperatures should drop off as sessions progress, and it is also worth a mention that when it comes to practice, FP2 is the most representative of the sessions as FP1 and FP3 take place earlier in the day. As you'd expect, given it is a new track, there is no data to base strategy on, so it's a complete unknown, so I don't really know what to expect. Although, as the circuit has more corners than any other on the calendar, the tyres aren't going to get much of a break. Of course, teams will naturally always push for a one-stopper where possible to limit the time lost in the pit lane, but I hope we do see a good mix of strategies, and I'll make a total guess of a prediction and say that teams will be pushed to at least a 2-stop race. I mean, it's got to be said as well, hasn't it? With the wars being so close, we could see some safety cars. I'd say there's a high chance of that happening. And that could spice things up quite nicely in terms of strategy as well. Could force some teams into 2 or 3 stoppers. As is always the case when the sport visits a new track, though, this weekend is going to be absolutely fascinating. Weather-wise, it is expected to stay dry and warm. The forecast at time of recording is for highs of 29 degrees C for FP1 and a slightly cooler 27 degrees for FP2. No thank you. With a 0% chance of rain. FP3 on Saturday is expected to be similar to the first practice session, with qualifying like FP2, hitting highs of 27 degrees, but there is a slightly higher chance of a downpour at an incredible 3% chance. If you're going to the circuit, make sure you take your brollies. And on Sunday, it is very much the same. Highs of 27 and a low chance of rain. Long story short, it's going to be hot and dry. And your schedule for the weekend is an afternoon and evening one here in the UK, which is nice. As I've said before, I always enjoy the evening sessions. Although I'm going to miss live qualifying on Saturday because it's the Lincoln Christmas market and family are all coming and want me to go with them. Anyway, FP1 is scheduled to get the weekend going on Friday from 1:30pm GMT, and FP2 gets going from 5pm. FP3 on Saturday starts at 2pm and all practice sessions are, of course, the usual 1 hour long, with qualifying underway from 5pm, and on Sunday it is lights out for the race at 5:30pm, and again that is in UK time. Okay then, no fast facts for you this week for a couple of reasons. Firstly, I don't really have anything worth a mention, but secondly, we've got to have a look at these title permutations because come the end of Sunday, both championships could be decided. A lot of ifs and buts. So going into this one, Max Verstappen has an 8-point lead over Lewis Hamilton in the driver's standings, and he will be crowned world champion if he wins and takes fastest lap with Hamilton finishing 6th or lower. But if he doesn't get that extra point for fastest lap, Hamilton would need to be 7th or lower. Second and fastest lap is also enough if Lewis finishes 10th or lower or fails to score if Max doesn't take the fastest lap bonus. But anything lower than a second place finish for the Dutchman and the battle goes down to the wire in Abu Dhabi. Basically, what I'm saying is Verstappen needs Mercedes and Hamilton to have a stinker of a weekend, so it probably looks unlikely on paper at least to be wrapped up this weekend, but it is definitely possible. And as we've seen so far in 2021, anything can happen. And by the way, a win and fastest lap for Hamilton with Verstappen in P2 means they will be level on points when they arrive in Abu Dhabi. Yes, bloody please. The Constructors is also likely to go down to the wire, but it can still be won in Saudi Arabia, although that seems even less likely than the drivers being decided. Mercedes currently holds a 5-point lead over Red Bull, and with a maximum of 44 points available in Abu Dhabi, and as Red Bull have more wins this season, Mercedes needs to outscore them by 40 points this weekend, but I fully expect and honestly hope that we get a double title decider next time out at Yas Marina. 2016 was the last time we had a title-deciding finale, and we've not had a title-deciding finale between two different drivers from two different teams since 2012. I'm hoping this one goes down to the wire. Okay then, time for my usual round of predictions, and as always, if you disagree with my picks, as I say every week, you probably should, then you can let me know yours in the comment section down below. Once again, this is pretty much total guesswork because we've never had a race at the track. Have I mentioned that? It's a new track this weekend. Anyway, but the feeling from those in the know and the experts and all of that business is that this circuit is expected to play to Mercedes' strengths, particularly the high-speed sections, although the twisty parts of the track could just as easily play to Red Bull's strengths. Fact is, again, we just don't know. It should also be noted that Lewis Hamilton will be using his Brazil power unit this time around, which is the freshest of his units. Let's be honest though, whoever it favours, this one is between Hamilton and Verstappen. So, surprise, surprise, I'm going to hedge my bets a little bit. I'll go with pole for Verstappen, but say that Hamilton will take the win. A win, by the way, that would keep his title chances in his own hands, of course. With, let's say, Sergio Perez P3 this time around, so that I'm not putting the same top three again for a second or third week in a row. Although it should be close between him and Bottas. And I know the Constructors pays the money, but it'll be interesting to see what Red Bull does with Perez if Hamilton has the fastest lap point. Could they, for example, sacrifice Checo's P3 to help Max in his own title fight? This season really could come down to a single fastest lap point, so that battle is so important and well worth keeping an eye on. Ferrari, again, are looking good and seem to have the third fastest package at the moment. Then again, got to be fair, McLaren have looked good in recent races, but luck has very much been against them. Look at last time out in Qatar, Lando Norris was running well, but then got that late puncture. But I will say Leclerc and Ferrari as outsiders for a podium and a win if there is some sort of drama at the front. My shock pick for a podium is Gasly. I got that right last time, of course, with Alonso, so well done, Pierre, on your podium this weekend. I'll say a surprise top 5 from, let's say, Lance Stroll, why not? And I've got to go, haven't I, with a points finish for Williams, so I'll say P9 for George Russell, and Nicholas Latifi will get another Q2 appearance. Now, before I go, there was some incredibly sad news this week as it was confirmed that Sir Frank Williams has passed away at the age of 79. A statement on behalf of the Williams family explained that after being admitted into hospital on Friday, Sir Frank passed away peacefully surrounded by his family. A statement soon followed from Williams Racing which added, "Sir Frank was a legend and icon of our sport. His passing marks the end of an era for our team and for the sport of Formula One. He was one of a kind and a true pioneer. Despite considerable adversity in his life, he led our team to 16 World Championships, making us one of the most successful teams in the history of the sport. His values, including integrity, teamwork, and a fierce independence and determination, remain the core ethos of our team and are his legacy, as is the Williams family name under which we proudly race." The world of F1 has also paid tribute, with George Russell saying Sir Frank was more than a boss, he was a mentor and a friend to everybody who joined the Williams Racing family, and went on to describe racing for him as an honour. And Nicholas Latifi said it has been an honour to represent Sir Frank's name on the world stage, and his passing is a huge loss to the sport, but the whole team will be racing for Sir Frank this weekend. In Saudi Arabia this weekend, the Williams team have planned numerous tributes to celebrate his life, and the cars will be running a tribute to the great man, as well as I'm sure Formula One and many other teams will too. I personally would like to talk more about Sir Frank in a later video, but I do just want to offer my condolences to the Williams family and everyone involved at Williams Racing. Words like legend and icon, they get thrown around a lot in sport, but Sir Frank was and will always be, without doubt, a legend and pioneer of F1, and he leaves behind the most incredible legacy. He will be greatly missed, but he will never be forgotten. Thank you, Sir Frank, and rest in peace. That is it then for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix preview, but you can, as always, let me know your thoughts and your predictions ahead of the weekend in the comment section down below, and I will be back live shortly after the race on Sunday for the usual reaction stream. But as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Sean, this has been the F1 Word, and until next time, goodbye.